Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Captain Gaurav Rana. I'm the founder of Sea and Beyond, and I'm more than happy to welcome all of you in this session. This session is on data analytics in maritime operation. Where is it used? How is it used? And we will give you a curtain raiser, a preview about the course which we are going to launch in the next week, which is starting from 2nd of December. So we've got with us the presenters. We've got 6 presenters, and it's my pleasure to have all of them over here and introduce to all of the audience over here as well. If you move to the next slide, please. Okay. To the next slide. All right. We've got in the presentation, we've got Captain Shailesh Bhambani. Captain Shailesh is a master mariner, of course. He's got 20 years of overall experience and he's been ashore for past 10 years. He's leading the business development sales of a very large marine tech company, an Indian company, right? And he's secured very large contracts for them. Before coming over here in this company, he was into core commercial shipping, where he has managed chartering of vessel. He was in the commercial part of for Scorpio as well, and he's sailed in various companies, including Anglo, Bergeson, Worldwide as well, right? And so Captain Shailesh will give an overview of where he sees that the data analytics is useful in the maritime industry, and where and how is the progression over here in this industry for persons who have data analysis skills. We've also got Gaurav Kullu with us in the on the presentation panel. Gaurav has been a master mariner. He has 21 years of experience. He's been ashore for a few years, and the last 2 years he's been a marine faculty, and he also is an independent consultant and specializes in remote VDR analysis. He uses Power BI to extensively solve solutions, for their clients. He's certified, NISM certified for Power BI, and more importantly, he uses this tool, which very few persons do, for his day-to-day needs. I mean, not just professional, but personal as well. He uses in trading and all, wherein he uses the skills which he has gained. I've also have Yogesh Venkatesan with me. Yogesh is a marine engineer. He's over 10 years of experience. In the past almost 3 years, he's been ashore. He was working earlier in Chennai, and now he's working for a leading shipping company in Mumbai. He's done a postgraduate certification in data science for business excellence and innovation from IIM Nagpur. And that's probably one of the reasons or one of the influences for him to get through a good shore job. Moving on, next slide. I've also got Mohsin in the presentation. He's going to join in the next few minutes. And Mohsin has had a very varied experience. He's has 11 years of total experience, 5 years working ashore. Right now he's working in the purchase department in JSW, but before that he's worked in brewery, wherein he was doing consultancy, and before that he was in Argus. And he actually specializes in building Excel models for market analysis, and that he has used extensively in his work, and he's going to be one of the trainers for us in the Excel course which we have. I've got Shailesh, Mr. Shailesh Singh. He's a marine engineer. 13 years of experience, 6 years working ashore. He's into sustainability essentially, and he works for Verifavia right now. He's proficient in IHM management, regulatory compliances, and sustainability initiatives, and he's passionate about merging growth with environmental stewardship in maritime industry. Last but not the least, I've got Shobha with me. Shobha has been a Excel trainer, and she specializes in that. That's what she essentially does for a living, and she will be the course in charge for the Excel course. She's over 12 years of experience in teaching Excel, conducted numerous Excel sessions, and she was essentially the trainer in the last batch which we had as well, right? So I've had the pleasure of introducing all the trainers, and I would also, I can't take the poll. Javeria, can you take the poll from your end about about seeing what about checking the ranks of the persons who are on the participants? Never mind. We move on. All right. So essentially, what I wanted to talk about is why are we doing this course? Why are we doing this webinar? Most of you may know that CN Beyond is into um, recruitment, right? And when we are doing recruitment, we talk to companies and we talk to candidates. What do the companies want? Here is the poll. We've got the poll on, what rank are you sailing? And if you can answer the poll, that would be great. While I talk about the market scenario, right? So essentially, what companies want is they're focusing on efficiency. They're focusing on technology because they feel that's one of the best ways of being more efficient, being fast, and getting more profits for the company. To realize their goals, they need relevant professionals, right, to help them. And these, who are the best professionals for a shipping company, for a maritime company? Honestly, no one better than a mariner. Someone who has sailed are the best guys. But if someone with sailing experience, who also knows technology, right? If they can, help them in increasing the efficiency, those are the best guys. But it is extremely difficult for them to find these kind of persons, and who can essentially start to contribute at the start itself. So that's where the pain point is from the companies. Companies need persons who can know business, which is essentially sailing, and they also need persons who understands technology. Um, uh, for them, it's difficult to find both in one person. From a candidate perspective, they want to upskill, right? They want to know, what can they do, but what they probably don't know is which course should they be doing and what is the advantage of upskilling this. You get a lot of information available on the internet, but very less is maritime specific. You'll get maybe 100 Excel courses, BI courses, but relevance is what you will not find. Um, so what candidates want is, if they upskill, how can they get a decent job? Where can they get a decent job? More importantly, what is the career progression for them once they do these upskilling, and who can assist them? So that's the problem statement which the candidates have. And what we are trying to do on the next slide, Shalom, we're trying to resolve this because we are connected to the company, we are also connected to the candidates, and what we can do is we can assist you with the course, and we can, in all probabilities, try and help you with a job wherein you will be able to utilize these skills, right? And will help you to take a well-informed decision. So that's the whole context, and that's the reason why we are doing this course. Um, I'll next slide, please. I'll have Captain Shailesh. I'll request Captain Shailesh to come in at this point and talk us through his views on, how is data analytics affecting our industry, and what's the future which he feels. Over to you, Captain Shailesh.
I thank you, Gaurav, for the kind words. I hope you guys can hear me loud and clear.
We can. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. I mean, everybody's talking about data all the time. It's technology which is changing continuously at all given point of time. I mean, we used to use a Nokia phone not even a decade back, and now we have a smartphone. Everybody has a smartphone. So what exactly is that? There's a technological advancement. And what is the advancement that has happened is that there is a lot of data that is available now. What is happening with all the new technology? Everything is data driven. You would have heard very commonly used term, data is the new oil. And trust me when I say it is not exaggeration. It is a gold mine. It is a new oil. That is what is going to be driving the world and the industries going forward. Now, can we ignore data? When it is such an essential part of the maritime industry, wherein almost 90% of the world trade is carried on maritime ships. So you imagine the amount of data that is available. What happens is, I'm just showing you some statistics. As of yesterday, there is 328 million terabyte of data that is created each day. So this is on a each day basis when I'm talking about. Our phones are only 256 GB. Now imagine this millions of terabytes of data that is coming in and created each day. When I say created, it is captured via phones. On a holiday earlier, we used to take one photograph because we had one camera. Today, for the same shot, we take about 20 photographs. That is the data that has been created. That's the amount of data that has been created. Now, what do we do with all the data? The most important part of any question or anything that is there is what, why, and how. So all this needs to be analyzed. This data needs to be, got into useful use. That is why what do? We do data analytics. And what is data analytics? Data analytics is nothing but converting raw data into actionable insight. If I tell you there is just take an example of one phone. If I tell you there are 5,000 photographs on your phone, especially with WhatsApp, and I would have those. But what are the useful photographs that are there? Probably 5, probably 10, probably 50. That is the useful actionable insights through which you will make a video of or something out of it. So similarly in the maritime space, data is very important. So, and anything that is raw data has to be converted into actionable insight. Why is analytics important? Because as Gaurav briefly touched upon, it improves efficiency, it reduces costs and increases safety. Let me tell you, I see a lot of mariners, especially we see a lot of senior officers present as well, almost 33% of senior officers. We use the term called leakages. In the system, there are leakages. When we talk about leakages is, how many times people have complained, मेरे को same form 3 बार भरना पड़ता है. I have to fill the same amount of information 3 times. I have to do same thing repeatedly at every given point of time. What is that? It is inefficiency. There is cost of time as well, which is going because every time matters as well as the inefficiency. There is incorrectness of data, then there is human error. So it becomes important that this data analytic is done and analysis is done, and more importantly that there is correctness of data and it is one data. In my organization we have what we call it is the single source of truth, that data does not lie. What is there is right in front of you. And how do we do data analytics? We have various tools that are there. You have Power BI. We started off with Excels. Earlier we used to use calculator, then we got into Excel, then now we have Power BI, Tableau, R, Python. These are the very commonly used. There are, of course, a few more that are there, but right now these are the commonly used in the maritime or the technology space, which is readily available. And this is why we're having this webinar also, that Captain Gaurav has taken the initiative to upskill the maritime fraternity to the technology advancements that is happening around. Shalu, can I have the next slide, please? Shalu, can you move to the next slide? Yeah. Like you saw that the amount of data that is gathered from or generated in the world, how is it relevant to the shipping industry? If we are being very specific, a newer ship, as you would have, people are sailing. Earlier, we used to have MC engines, which is the mechanical engines. Now we have the ME engines. Just giving you a very practical example. Yeah, is the electronic engines. A single electronic engine or a vessel in particular can give you 4,000 data points. When I mean by data points, these data points are continuously generated every second. Now you imagine the amount of data that is being generated from the ship at any given point of time. Below is just a brief example. As you've all sailed and you've seen, speed does keep changing every second. You know, it goes, vessel is moving, the time is moving. A classic example, time is moving. So there is a timestamp that is there. There is the AI's information. There's a marine information. The engines are moving. All this is all data points. We say anything that is electronic, yeah, or anything that is on electricity will have some data that would be captured out of it. So it all depends on the use case that we have. There are about 60,000 ships in the world which are registered, and registered are much more. But this is what we are talking only on the assets which are in water. Now you imagine the assets which are offshore. You have the ports, you have the infrastructure, you have the roads. And when we talk the complete logistic chain, you can imagine the amount of data points that is there that gathered on each day. What is most important is the analysis of them. And this is where the skills are being developed, especially in the maritime space, or as we say, as the expert, as Captain Gaurav had already pointed out. Shalu, if you go to the next page. That is, what are the opportunities that we have? These are just the technology that is there, or as we called the fourth revolution. Yeah, the industry 4.0. You would have heard of IoT, Internet of Things, or big data analysis, or cloud computing. All this, how is it all driven? What is the backbone of all this? Is good quality data, good quantity of data as well. This is just at the bottom, you would see our shipping organization, which is into the digital roadmap. In their digital roadmap, what all do? They use IoT of things. Just to explain what IoT of things means, there are sensors which are already on board, and they are sending you pulses and tags at every second, every given point of time. It has been captured to let know how the information, what is the information that the machinery is providing. To make it very simple, I can tell you that it is like the machines talking to you. And this is the language that we take. This is the language that has been coming. You have to convert that language into meaningful insight. This is where the experience, the expertise, and the domain knowledge of anybody who is in digitalization or wants to get into data analytics will be needed. Shalu, if you could go to the next slide. So when we talk about career progressions for mariners with data skill, I think there is no two ways about it that maritime industry is a very peculiar industry. It has its own jargons, it has its own requirements. I'm working with I have a team of more than 50, 60 people, many of them non-mariners. Trust me when I say it takes me some effort to even explain them the difference between an auxiliary generator and a main engine. Because for them, everything is machinery. But these are the finer things that comes into play when you come with experience from the maritime background, because you know what the industry, what the ship is, what the machinery is, what the weather is, what the domain requirement is. So mariners, or be it on the deck side or the engineering side, they have unique set of real maritime knowledge. It is not something which is learned in a course in 2 months or 3 months. They actually have gone on board. They've actually said they understand from where the data is being generated. If I tell you, okay, the AIS data information is coming, they have a rough idea what all information is coming from the AIS. Yeah, they are better able to comprehend the meaning of these tags, because at the end of the day, the data that is coming in certain tags, and these tags have to be understood, which a marina or somebody with a maritime background understands better than a technology background or somebody from the technology field. So now when you mix the two, when you are a marina and you have certain skill sets for data analysis or data understanding, or anything in the digitalization space, I would say there is a lot of opportunities that are there for everyone, be it a person who's sailed on the ship or never sailed on the ship, but just has some maritime knowledge, a formal maritime training knowledge, or sailed on the ship as a fifth engineer, fourth engineer, or even as a cadet, to a master who's been sailing on the ship for many years, or to somebody who's already ashore, who's come ashore as a superintendent or into operations or as a voyage analyst. There is a lot of requirement to upskill yourself. This is where Captain Gaurav and his team has actually curated a program which is very specific to the need of the industry. This is what is lagging, is the understanding and the real world application of data. This is what they're trying to Gaurav, over to you now.
Yes. Sorry, there was some internet issue and I got disconnected. I hope you're able to hear me.
Yeah.
All
So
right. Hey, thanks for the for your notes, for your feedback on how data analysis is kind of affecting our industry, and more importantly, what's the career progression where all persons can go, and and a lot of entrepreneurs right now in the shipping industry are coming and into this technology field, the marine tech field. So thanks for your views, Shailesh. We'll take a quick poll, and at this point of time, we request from the audience, what are your views on the data analysis in maritime, and where do you stand? There might be someone who might think that it's all hype. You may seem it's fancy. Some may feel no, it's really affecting. And whatever your views are, feel free to answer the poll. And after you answer the poll, then we will have Yogesh come in. Yogesh is working in a marine tech company. He's a marine engineer, and he's also done a course into data analytics, and he would possibly tell us about his views on the course. How did it help him to probably get a job, and are these skills actually being used in the job which he does? That's the key thing over here, that when you work ashore in certain fields, are these actually being used at all or not? So yeah, so we've got about 85, about 90% of the participants who have answered the poll. I'm ending the poll and sharing results now. All right, we move to the next slide, and most of us, we believe that data is affecting maritime, and some of us have heard about it. Over to you now, Yogesh.
Yeah, hi. Thank you, Captain Gaurav. Good afternoon, everybody. Can we go to the next slide, please? Myself, Yugesh, I'm ex-mariner, having over 10 to 11 years of experience in shipping. And recently, I moved into this data science field. And means I have done a course in data science from IIM Nagpur, so which is helping me to carry forward my day-to-day jobs in the company. So I'm working in a marine tech company, where we use means, as Captain Shailesh rightly told, data is the new fuel. So with the data which we get, we are doing analysis. We are able to do predictive analysis, predictive maintenance. Sorry, with the engine parameters data, we are doing predictive maintenance analysis, and we are doing voyage optimization, fuel optimization, and means with data many aspects we are doing analysis. So this maritime industry is means not only maritime industry, every industry is dependent on data to take decisions. And for us, if we take means we all are mariners, and we have the domain expertise in marine engineering and nautical science. And if we learn some tools like Excel and Power BI, it will help us to do fast analysis and help in decision making. So that is where the importance of Excel and Power BI is coming in. So I just want to share a few use cases which we do in our company. Please move on to the next slide. Yeah. So, uh, with the navigation data, we can do voyage optimization, route optimization. So, how it is done? Uh, uh, how it is done is with the historical data. We fed those data to the software. Means using Excel and Power BI, we can uh, 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 we can do machine learning, and uh, it will do lots of permutations and combinations, and it will give the optimized route or uh, the data for predictive maintenance. So same way, fuel we can do fuel optimization, predictive maintenance. We can do speed consumption curve analysis, and if for example, if there is a claim that the vessel did not perform well, so with the data we can do some analysis, and we can present our point of view, where we can help the company to reduce the claim, or we can fight the claim. So in many ways data help us uh, to take decisions and give insights. So, learning these tools will surely help us in this new era of artificial intelligence, and data is everywhere. And my recommendation would be like, without domain knowledge, these tools are nowhere. So we all are mariners. We already have some domain expertise in our own field. So if we learn a few tools like Excel, Power BI, Tableau, or Python, we will surely be able to take fast decisions and give insights to our companies and managers, which will increase the productivity, and more probably means more cost saving. So that is my point of view. Um, that's all. Thank you.
Great, Yogesh. Great. So, which are the two most important tools which you are using in your day-to-day life now in your work?
Uh,
The tools which.
Mostly Excel and Power BI. So in Excel, we can analyze the data, and to present the data in a much better way, we use Power BI. So it is a visualization tool, and we can do ETL also. Means ETL means extract, transform, and loading. So many useful aspects are there with Excel and Power BI.
Great, understand. So you're using these tools in your current work life.
Yes.
Right. Great. So while we move to the next slide, wherein Shobha will come and or we'll discuss about the Excel part on the Excel course. I've launched a poll wherein I request for your what is your level of understanding of Excel. You can just do documentation. You can you're on an intermediate level. You're an expert at it, or you can do mostly anything around it. So we move to the next slide while we have the answers coming in. All right. Okay, I've got about 75% of you have answered. Can I have a few more answers? I'm ending the poll right now and I'm sharing the results of the poll. So I see almost 83% of us have either basic or basic to intermediate understanding of the Excel. 15% are intermediate to expert, and a couple who are expert as well. And so what we are going to do from next week is we are going to start a maritime focused intermediate Excel course, right? We are going to have 12 hours session, total course length, wherein it will be divided into 4 sessions, 3 hour each session. One session will have 2 hours from Miss Shobha. Shobha is an expert trainer into Excel. And then 1 hour from a maritime expert. So Mohsen is there, Shailesh Singh is there, who will teach that 1 hour every day. In session one, we will do about database creation. We'll talk about protection of workbooks, cell addressing, referencing, and these fundamentals are extremely important, because what happens is you may know about other advanced features, but if you don't know how to actually start making a table, how to start creating these databases, it may become difficult for you to then progress and do advanced things in a much better manner. So that's on session one. Session two is mostly on again a 3 hour session. It's on formatting features, data validation, and we have a more detailed view of what will happen in session two, which we will share in a brochure as well. Moving on, we'll have another session, session three, which will be of 3 hours again. And session three will get into the advanced stage, wherein we will talk about dynamic database concepts. We'll work on functions. We'll work on logical functions. And if people are able to grasp the basic things in session two itself, maybe we will prepone this to some of this session three to session two as well. So again, 2 hours by an expert, and 1 hour by a maritime expert who is expert in Excel as well. And in session four we start with creating of charts, creating of pivot tables, and then we of course give you assignments which you need to answer. We will also give you a certification of the course once this is through. At this stage, just to give a small demo about Excel, I would request to have Miss Shobha, who will talk about or who will give a small demo on what can be done using Excel. So you can stop sharing, Shalu, and over to you, Shobha.
Yes, hi, good evening all.
Good evening.
Okay, so hope everyone are able to see my screen.
It's just loading, Shobha. Just give us a few seconds. It's still uploading. Do you want to maybe stop and reshare?
Yes, yes.
Okay, we can see the screen now.
Okay. Yeah, so as we discussed just now, session 1, 2, 3, and 4, I have just modified that into a two different ways actually. Okay, so where basic formulas and advanced formulas. So these are the two things I have divided here. So coming to our first two sessions and last two sessions, so it is very clear to understand. First two sessions, formatting a cells, table formatting, sum, average, minimum, maximum, filters, sorting, text functions, most wantedly, this if conditions and data validations. So these are the things we discuss in the session 1 and 2. So just now what Gaurav sir also has been explained to you using the PPT presentation. So there also same thing has been given. Okay, so basic formulas and advanced functions. So these are the two things. Okay, session 1 2, that is for the next weekend. So here formatting a cells and table formatting. Say table formatting is one of the most important thing that you have to understand in the Excel. So that makes you very easy to work in the Power BI also. Okay, so filters also, again say table formatting, filters, data validation, if conditions. So these are the most important concepts which helps you, and these are the very key components which helps you easy to learn your BI also, Power BI also. Okay, and coming to this advanced functions, sum if is, count if is, average if is, VLOOKUP, index and match functions, pivot tables and charts. So these are all analysis functions. So these are all called as analysis functions. Let me explain you. See, if I just tell analysis functions and if I just tell formatting, means no, it will be little bit, say the people who are already working, they will come to know how to use these things. And I have seen the poll, most of them say you have a graph from basic to advanced functions, correct? No, so let me give a one small example which helps you to understand what is a table formatting or what is this sum if or count if, way to use it, how and where to use these functions. Okay, as it is a webinar, I have a ready data with me. Okay, so I have made my data ready. Okay, so you can see in the first column I have taken item name, units, rate per unit, so amount, discount and total price. So these are all assumption only. Okay, so it is just for understanding, I have modified this data for you. It's a very small data just for understanding. Okay, so here you can see I have some items and observe these item names are already repeated. Okay, the names are already repeated. That means item name, whatever I have typed, it is already repeated, and units and per unit value. So per unit, what is per unit? So we have these three columns blank. That means what, we have to input the formula here. We have to calculate the formula. So what is the total amount? We can give some discount also, and after discount what will be the total price, that. So these are the three different columns. Okay, amount means like say units multiplied by rate per unit is what your amount. Okay, see, observe, I'm giving a formula here in the Excel. Equal is most important. If you put equal, then only your formula will get calculated. Okay, so equals, say I'm selecting my units multiplied by rate per unit. I have given a multiplication symbol there. So I have got my amount. This is my amount. Okay, so I'm just clicking on this corner place of my cell just to double click. Double click is enough. Okay, so if you do double click till that range. Where is your range? Till that range, your formula is copied. Discount, I say I'm going to give some percentage of discount on the amount column. Okay, so I'm selecting my amount, I'm giving some 5% discount. Again, this discount is a optional. Okay, so I have just taken a discount column here. And discount means you can give different types of different percentage of a discount for different item, same percentage for all item you can give. However, okay, different percentage for different items, same percentage for all items also you can give. So here I'm using a same percentage for all the items. Okay, I'm using same percentage for all items. So total price I'm taking, say amount minus your discount is my total price. So these are all very very small and basic formulas only. And see, I just want to give you one explanation that you have two things, that is functions and formula in the Excel. So we call functions, we call formulas. So it is very much important to understand what is formula.
Uh, I, I I guess there was some issue from her end as well. I don't see her. I guess she got logged off. Any which ways, I think. So the idea was that Shobha was trying to show us a few use cases and how and where the Excel could quickly be used. Uh, at this stage, and not sure when she comes in, we'll probably could continue the could continue the demo. But let me call in Shailesh. Shailesh, if you can share the presentation. At this stage, let me call Shailesh. Shailesh will be one of the tutors who will essentially show the utility of Excel in the maritime domain. Shailesh has been working for past 6 years ashore. He's worked in Verifabia and he's learned Excel on the job. He's using Excel on the job, and he's gonna tell us his views on the application of Excel in the maritime industry. So thanks for coming here, Shailesh, and over to you.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. So, all said and done, having knowledge does not guarantee success. It takes more than that to be successful. While knowledge is serving as a foundation, but it takes action based upon that knowledge, which truly unleashes the transformative power. Why I'm saying this? Because just only by learning Excel you'll not be going to succeed. I mean, success will not be waiting there for you. You need to have practical application for what you are learning here. Okay, and like Captain Bambani already mentioned that the maritime industry and any other industry in today's time relies heavily on data for their operations and decision making, because it's only this fraction of percentage which which stands you out from the rest of the business peers. So it's really very tough competition between the industries, and that's why the industries are lying heavily on the data. And because of this, the sheer volume of data that you will be getting to work on could be overwhelming, and it can easily make you feel lost if not handled correctly. So this is where Excel and business intelligence tools come into play. So Excel is a powerful tool for organizing and analyzing your data, and BI systems provide you capabilities for processing and visualizing those large data sets. Now, during this course, my role would be the to act as a bridging gap between the theoretical knowledge and the real world implementation. So we'll be guiding you on the practical application of the course learning within the maritime industry. Now, what could be the practical application? So I'll give you some of the streams where I'll just tell you how this can be done. For example, if I am talking about environmental regulation, there is a regulation MRV, which is now its upgraded version ETS is coming, emission trading scheme. And this ETS, decarbonization, sustainability, it's everywhere in every industry, be it on land, be it on ships, everywhere. So now let's assume you are acting as a verifier of the data. So the vessel will be reporting the entire year's the emissions that the vessel has done. You cannot just look at the emission data by your naked eyes and analyze, okay, this is wrong, this is correct, this is offset. You cannot do that, because you will be seeing thousands of rows and number of columns. So you need to use some functions, the functions which will help you refine the data, and uh, it will help you analyze the data and tell you that, okay, whether this is within the limits or it's not. So you will have to use some functions. Similarly, you have there is a regulation called inventory of hazardous material. So in that, you will be getting purchase order data from various shipping companies, the entire year's purchase order data. Now multiply that purchase order data with the number of vessels that, I mean, you are taking care of. So that huge amount of data, now you are sitting on a gold mine. Okay, now you can use that data. You can if you are just going on the basic Excel, if you need to take one outcome from that data, you need to put multiple filters. But if you are using advanced Excel or BI, and you are using pivot tables, you are using data sets, then with just one click you will be able to uh, see the anomaly in the data. And based on that anomaly, you can develop your actionable insights. These actionable insights are the key. Without these actionable, I mean, this is very important. If the insights are just insights, you cannot act upon them, it's of no use. So to understand your data and to develop the actionable insights, this is the key, and we'll be helping you with this part.
Great, great. Thanks, Shailesh. I think the idea is that if and when person is handling a data which a person is used to, right, and the same kind of terminology, the same kind of um, uh, the data usage, then they'll be able to learn a little bit better and in a more efficient manner, and then utilize that skills further as well. And at this stage, if I may call Mohsin as well. Mohsin will be the maritime trainer for Excel on second and third. And so Mohsin has also, we did previously an Excel course as well, where Mohsin was also the trainer. And he will probably tell us more about where he has used Excel, and how has it helped him in his professional life as well. So over to you, Mohsin.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Am I
Mohsin.
audible, Captain?
Yes, yes, you are.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Mohsen. At present, I am working with JSW Steel in their procurement department. So, as you know, like for making steel, we need a lot of raw materials, be it iron ore in the form of pellets, fines, or be it coking coal. And other some of the commodities that we procure are like in commodity side, zinc, aluminum, ferroalloys, tin, lead, so many things. So when we procure all these materials, we need to do some market research, and all those market research, for that we need tools for analyzing the different data. And those tools, like one of the tools which we use is Microsoft Excel. And for visualization, we use, of course, Power BI, because it is easy to create dashboards in Power BI. rather than creating them on Excel. Means you can create the same thing on Excel as well. But the problem with creating dashboard on Excel is that it is more time consuming, whereas you can save a lot of time in when you are using Power BI for visualization. However, like most of the work, like cleaning the data, all those things are sometimes done on Excel, and depending upon like how much data you want to clean, they are again shifted into Power Query, which is again a part of Power BI. So this is like some of the things that we are using here. Before that, I used to work with Argus. There I was working as a freight analyst, and there also I was doing this all these kinds of analysis mostly on Excel. And before that, when I was last year when I was a trainer with CN Beyond, I did this is same Excel training. That time I showed to the participant a model that I have made. That model was for EII and CII, EDI, CII. So I know like right now means I think CII is mostly used to track right now, and mostly maybe for newer vessels, EDI would be used. So my task while creating that model, like senior management, they have asked me to make a model so that we can analyze like how many vessels would be affected when this EI regulation will come into force. And that EI regulation, I think it came into force on 1 Jan 2023. So before that, we have to make that assessment that how many vessels will be affected by that. So like, for example, which vessels which were like old. So if they are getting affected, what will happen is that maybe IMO will, they will stop allowing it to sail on like foreign waters. Because of that, the supply of those ships will get deducted. So when the supply would get deducted, it means like you will have less supply, whereas the demand is, if it is not getting affected, because of that, your freight rates would increase. So that was like the whole concept of it. And since I was like the only marine engineer in that company at that time, so the senior management asked me to come up with an Excel model so that they can found out like how many supplies of vessels would be affected. And that was like not just for one sector, that was like across the sector, like on tankers how many would be affected, on dry bulk how many would be affected, similarly for containers, MPV and LNG, LPG, all kinds of vessels. So that model I actually showed in my last training. There were many who actually wanted that model, but I have already discussed this with Captain, because that is actually it's a proprietary right and copyright of the company, so I cannot share the model. However, I can definitely show you how to build those kind of model and like what all things you will need when you will go through all the training from this Excel course. Whatever training will be given by Ms. Shobha and other trainers, all those things that will be applied to create those kinds of model. So yeah, so that is like one of my primary skill to create like this financial models, economic model. And like you can create all these things on various other tools as well. Like, like people talk about Python, people talk about, SQL and all. Means, yeah, definitely those are some really advanced tools. However, like when you are working for any consulting company or when you are working with senior management, there is one problem that is being faced. That is, these management, they are already like almost 55, 60 years old. They may not be very proficient to use Python, or they may not be very proficient to use this high level like coding languages and all, but they are very good in Excel. So Excel comes very handy. And nowadays, like you can see like Microsoft, they have already started incorporating like Python and all those things in Excel as well. So if you learn Excel, like for example, if you want to do any data analytics, if you learn Excel, that is, I believe, is the basic part that you need to really be proficient at. Once you do that, then you can start learning maybe Power Query, Power BI, maybe Excel, SQL, and like again, like go to Python and all. So yeah, means like when we go ahead with the trainings, I will definitely show my that EII and this EDI and CI model. And apart from that, I will definitely, one more thing that I would like to show that time is that I will show how valuation for a vessel is done. Because that time I have given, last year I have given this exercise to the participants, that you have to calculate what will be the value of a vessel? Like maybe if it is a 5-year-old vessel, what do you think should be the value of that vessel after 10 years? Like it should be like maybe $100 billion or maybe $50 billion, depending upon so many different criterias. So how you are going to incorporate those criterias in your Excel model? So that would be like my part in this whole training. Thanks to you, Captain.
Sure, Mohsin. No, I think that's very useful. And besides working on say valuation of a vessel, that's in itself intriguing. But and doing it through an Excel would really interest a lot of persons. So we look forward to your session in the coming week, Mohsin. Thank you for your time as well.
Thank you.
Sure. So moving on, let me launch a poll which is on BI and okay. All right. I guess this was already okay. No, 1 second. I'm just launching a poll on is this poll on data? Right. Give me a second. We move to the next slide, wherein we'll have Gaurav also coming in. Okay, we will move to the next slide now, and as Taranjeet had asked a question on whether we'll have any data visualization tool which would be being taught, we will have Power BI, which would be taught as well within the course. And I've got Gaurav Kullu with me. Gaurav is a certified trainer in BI, and of course he's a master mariner. He uses BI in his day-to-day work. He's a maritime trainer. He's also consulting on VDR analysis, and he uses BI in his work. So he would tell a little bit about why BI we are using, and he'll give a demo on how he has used BI, so that all of us can understand about BI as well. So over to you, Gaurav.
Okay, hi, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Captain Rana, for introducing me. And in fact, I would like to thank you again for bringing up this course and the entire webinar thing for the seafarers. I was just listening to Captain Sailesh and other speakers here, and really great insights I have got, and how the marine industry is demanding for the need for data analysis. Other industries are already there. They are picking up very fast. Why? Because they already have so many people over there. But when it comes to marine industry, we want mariners, and somewhere the mariners, they lack the understanding of the tools that are required. So it is important to upskill ourselves. And as I was the I don't know, Mohsin remembers or not, I was one of the candidates in the previous session. I attended that course as an attendee. So honestly, I learned a lot from the previous session, which was taken by Mohsin, Shobha M and Sailesh and all. It was really insightful. So it certainly helped me in understanding what happens in the shore industry and how data analytics and in fact using of these tools are done. Now coming to Power BI part, what I would like to speak here. Now, while we were designing this thing, we realized, why should we add Power BI into data analytics, and why not some other tools? So like also you have again showed it in your website that in data we trust, and for all others, sorry, in God we trust, and for all others bring data, right? So here's another wonderful data which tells very clearly that Microsoft Power BI is the leader in the business intelligence platform. I mean, there are plenty of software. I mean, you want to go, you can keep going, looking for many software, but Microsoft Power BI is clearly the leader in this segment. And you can see the next closest competitor is a Tableau, which is again another competitor in this field, but it's far behind Microsoft, right? You can see clearly it's far behind Microsoft, and everybody else including Google Analytics, AWS, Zoho Analytics. They are like in a very developing stage, niche players. I was surprised to see Zoho Analytics termed as a niche player. So anyway, so that's why Power BI is a priority for us to learn. I mean, we can go on learning every other tool, but we should first focus on Power BI. Okay.
Just to add and clarify, Gaurav, 1 second. We've got Microsoft written over here. So BI is from Microsoft, and that's the reason why it's written, and that's what Gaurav was referring to.
Yes.
Microsoft BI. Yes, please.
Yeah, Microsoft is the parent company of the Power BI. Yeah. Okay. So now let's quickly jump into some of the use case analysis and use case things and especially some few dashboards that I have created and how I use my thing for my analysis and all. So let me just share my screen quickly. One moment. Okay. So are you able to see my screen? Just can you give me a yes, somebody?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Okay, thank you. So very firstly, I would like to share this one of the projects that I have worked on, and in fact, I have posted this into my what do you call my YouTube channel also. Can you see the PDF? I'm just worried if you can see the PDF, or are you seeing the yellow color slide?
The yellow color slide, not the PDF.
Okay, okay. Fine. One moment. Then maybe I just have to reshare. All right. So this is basically this analysis which I made was basically on the result data. Okay. Now this is the result data. I'm sure a lot of you who are from sailing background, you must have come across this result data or similar result data somewhere, and not somewhere. Digi Shipping posts this data. So we all love to see our names, and especially if we are passed, right? So now this, since I was also a faculty for GP rating and diploma in nautical science and all, so it was some importance to me. So I saw this data. Now this data consists of almost 242 pages. As you can see, there are 242 pages, and it just gives you the name of the candidates, pass, fail, or whatever. So first of all, it's a very vast data, and honestly speaking, it is not giving me any value, or it's not giving me any insights from it. I can't derive anything from it, right? But I wanted to know some answers. I had some questions in mind. I wanted to know some answers from that. So what I did, I used Excel. First of all, I transformed this data from PDF to Excel, and there I did some cleaning. And later on, I transformed this data into my Power BI. So let me again share my Power BI part. All right. So finally, I created this kind of dashboard using my Power BI thing, using my Power BI. Now in this, you can clearly see the same data, which is in a PDF form and probably telling me absolutely nothing. But now it is giving me so many insights. It is clearly telling me there were almost 4,350 students appeared in that exam. There were 46 institutes, and the passing percentage overall was around 83.7%. Okay. Then on the left-hand side, you can see the list of all the institutes, and for each institute, you can see how many were like passed, how many failed, how many were absent. Complete breakdown was able to be made, from the same data. Further, I can also see the age distribution of the candidates. You can see here how many of them were 18. The youngest one was the 18-year-old, and the eldest one was something around 29. Even I was surprised. 29-year-old appearing for GP rating course. So anyway, so all these insights I can get, and how many students for each age group we had. All right. Then most of you must be knowing there are two subjects, GSK online and MEK online, right? So a GSK, I can also see using the same data that where the students are failing more, whether the students are failing in GSK or whether the students are failing in MEK, what are the percentages, and how's their performance in the practicals also. So everything I could just transforming the data from that raw data, I could convert it into Power BI and obtain certain insights from there. Further going forward, I also made a filter which gives me the list of top 10 institutes and bottom 10 institutes. Okay, so this is again wonderful insight, which now this kind of data may not be required for everybody, but certainly just imagine if you are from you are into you are in administration or DG shipping somewhere, sitting there doing some analysis, or if you are from an institute, or if you are an aspiring student. Naturally, this kind of data or analysis will certainly help you for your future planning and all, right? So this is one data that I had worked on, and I have shared it in the YouTube my channel also. But okay, now going quickly forward to my second another project. Let me just show you. Okay, now this is a HR dashboard. So data analytics and visualization is not only limited to any particular voyage related or something like that. It can be there. You might be even working for a manning company tomorrow. So many of you might be stepping ashore, and you might be working into manning companies. So even a lot of analytics is required in manning department also, and there also you can do a lot of visual analysis, and you can come out with solutions and provide to your clients and all. Like for example, this one, I can just click on let's say HR department. I want to know how many employees I have in R&D department. So I can just one click, it will completely change the entire data and show me the result only for the R&D department alone. Just suppose I want to know how many female candidates I have in my employees I have in my association in my company. I can just click on the female and just I get the data of all the female employees in the company. So that is what Power BI actually comes handy, where actually Excel lags behind, right? Let me share you one more example. Now this is inventory management dashboard. Basically, this is showing some kind of inventory. So it doesn't matter. The application of Power BI is everywhere, whether it is from manning department, whether it is sales and purchase, it can be from manufacturing or procurement department, or anywhere, whether it is voyage optimization, carbon emission control, or anywhere, absolutely anywhere. The knowledge of Power BI, you can use it absolutely anywhere, and apply them. Let me last show one more thing which might be of some interest to most of you. 1 minute. Yeah. Now, I'm also an NISM certified personnel, National Institute of Security Markets. I've done some certifications there. So basically, I'm okay to share talk about security products. And yeah, a quick disclaimer: I'm not giving any tips or anything on market. And I'm what is that called? Investment in stocks and is subject to market risk. Okay. So keeping the disclaimers aside, I created recently I started doing algo trading. Okay. Now I created a strategy and I started applying, doing a forward testing of my strategy. So it's been just about 2 months, 3.5 months, 3 months roughly. Now I wanted to analyze and see what is my progress. See what is how my strategy is actually working. So what I did, I just went to my broker's account and I downloaded this data. Okay. So everybody can do it. You can just download your trading data from that your broker account, and you'll get some Excel file like this. Okay. Honestly speaking, you can't make anything out of it. The max to max you can do is just do a sum over here and find out whether you are profitable or in losses. Okay. But now I have, since this was my forward testing, I have a lot of questions. which I want to find the answers for. Like, for examples, I want to know if my strategy is profitable. Of course, that's my first thing. The second thing which I want to know is, if it is for profitable, then how much is it for profitable? Then I also want to know the breakup of result based on different instrument that I am trading for in this strategy. And finally, what I really want to know is, going forward, what can I do to increase my profits? Basically, what I'm saying, how can I optimize this further? What should I do so that I can make more profits, right? So that's the whole idea of any analysis, whether it is my trading analysis or anything, absolutely anything, right? We all want to know and how we can optimize things and generate better profits, right? So let me again share my Power BI where I have done some basic work. Okay. Fine. All right. So here, what I have done basically, I have already imported the document, the table over here. You can see here, this is my Power BI window, and I have already imported the data from the Excel into my Power BI. Now, coming to the visualization part, I have already created some of the visuals here, and which is clearly showing me at the bottom part. It is showing me that September I was profitable, October I was profitable, and November also I was profitable. So one thing is for sure, that I'm very happy that my strategy is actually working, and it is certainly profitable. But the question comes, how much profitable? Okay, now that's something which everybody would like to know, that how much is it profitable? So for that, I will have to create some kind of DAX function. Okay, so I will need a DAX function. So what I can do, okay, not for this, maybe I'll just put a KPI card over here. Okay, and in this KPI card, I will just pull out the sum of profit and loss, and that's it. I have the total profit that I have made here. Okay, now let me just format it so that it looks very even. All right, so this is the total profit that I have made, my strategy has made in the last 3 months. Okay, now 16.4 thousand rupees. Is it good? Is it bad? How good it is? We don't know. So in order to know that, what we need is basically we need to know how much was the capital deployed, right? So once we know how much is the capital deployed, we can further understand whether this profit is good or bad. So for that reason, I will have to add a new measure. Okay, so what I will do is, there are many other ways to do it. I will prefer to use a new measure, and what I'm going to do is, I'll just write down here capital deployed, which was around 1 lakh rupees. Okay, done. So essentially what I have done, I have created a DAX new measure, and I'm going to pull out the capital deployed and just drag and drop here. Done. So now you can see that my capital deployed was actually 1 lakh rupees, and I have generated a profit of 16.4%. Now further, I want to know what the percentage return. Okay, 16.4 thousand is okay, but I want to know how much is the percentage return. So for that, again, what I'm going to do, I'm going to write a DAX function, which would be something like this. Let's say I want to know percentage return. So in order to find the percentage return, what I need to do is basically divide, right? So we are going to divide what? Well, we are going to divide the numerator. So we have to add the numerator here. So what is the numerator here? The numerator is the sum of profit and loss, right? So we can write sum of positions PNN. Okay. This we are going to write sum of positions PLN. Position is the name of the table, and PNL is the column. So this is the numerator, which is going to be there, and comma followed by the denominator. Okay. So denominator will be what? my capital deployed. Okay, one moment. One moment. Just numerator will be your percentage. कहाँ गया? Wait a minute. Second, it's not coming. One moment. It should actually show here the table. It's not showing. Capital deployed. Okay, let's close the bracket here. Fine. Okay, it's showing some error.
Yeah, I think it's saying capital is misspelled. CAPIT.
Yeah, double. Okay, never mind. So basically, what I'm essentially trying to show here, basically we can add certain DAX functions here and find out basically how much is the percentage profit that I have made. And further, you can see here now the last question, which was the how to determine the what I'm going to do, how to optimize going forward, right? So you can see here clearly my strategy is actually working good for Bank Nifty, and it is working good for mid cap Nifty. But for some reasons, it is not working quite well with Nifty 50 and Fin Nifty. So koi baat nahi. So what I'm going to do going forward, as an analyst, I can advise my client, or in this case myself, that perhaps if I don't trade in Nifty 50 and Finance Nifty, and this alone will give me a profit. Moment. Okay, it's not filtering right now here. This alone will give me a profit, will increase my profits, right? So that is how we can do this analysis using Power BI, and how I use it for my own purpose to optimize my trading. And we can use this whether it is in any industry. We can apply this knowledge in almost any industry, whether you're working as an HR, you're working in sales purchase, or whatever, right? So can we have the slide?
Sure, Gaurav. That is very helpful, and we've come to know how we can, how and where we can use these tools, not just in professional but in personal life as well. If you can quickly take us through a quick time check as well, if you can take us through what would you teach us in the course as well, right?
Yeah.
Shall
Yeah.
we next slide?
Can we go to the next slide? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So the BI part, the course, we have divided into two sessions. Okay, there is session 1 and session 2, and both will be roughly around 2 hours each session. And the first session will be mostly focusing on the introduction of Power BI, how to get started. Basically, you will be downloading the Power BI desktop into your desktop or laptop, and right from there we will talk about the settings, what settings are required to be done. Then going forward, how we are going to connect the various data, right? Data can be from various sources, so we will learn how to connect all this data from various sources. Then we will learn how to create a rolling calendar. Now rolling calendar is very important, because what happens, especially when we are handling data where you are getting a daily based data, like for example noon report. Okay. So noon report is being sent almost every day. You have created a nice dashboard, but now tomorrow some another new data comes in. So how to get it into the visualization. So that's why it's important to have a rolling calendar with you. So you need to know how to create a rolling calendar. Then we will touch upon some of the DAX functions, right? How to create a new calculated column, how to create quick measures and basic measures, like one which I have created right now. So these things we will do on the session 1. And also then we will see the relationship model, how we are going to create a relationship in the relationship view. So then you might be working with different files, not necessarily one file you will be having. So how to connect all those files in the Power BI. So that also we'll be seeing here in the first session. And can we have next slide? Yeah. The second session will focus on building the report. So all the groundwork we'll be doing in the day 1. And finally, on day 2, we will be working on the visualization part, that how we are going to create a nice and value giving visualization. It's just not cosmetic, but also it should provide some value. So that kind of visualization we'll be preparing, and we'll see it on the day 2. And finally, we'll do some managing the Power BI part, how some data refreshing, sharing the reports, how it is done. And we'll discuss about some of the best practice also in the session 2. Can we have the next slide? Yeah. Okay. So basically, that's all about the data analytics course part. And I think one more part which I missing is the bonus part. So maybe I can continue with that.
Yeah, quickly. Yes, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So the bonus part is basically here that we are going to add how we are going to learn or leverage our data analytics using artificial intelligence tools and ChatGPT. So that's a bonus part we have included in this course. And not to forget that these are all project-based learning, and it will be all focused in the maritime industry only. So I think that's all from my side. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks, Gaurav. And it was lovely to see the demo. I'll quickly summarize the features of the training and what you would get. It'll be a total 20-hour course. 12 hours will be on Excel, 4 sessions, 3 hours each. Then we'll have 4 hours of 2 sessions, 4 hours for BI. More importantly, after these sessions are done, these 16 hours, we will have problem solving sessions as well. So for example, after this Excel and Power BI session is done, we will give you a project. So we will give you a data. That data could be on maritime trade. That data could be on something which is related to maritime, maybe accidents or something. And we will ask you to prepare a report and present that report, right? Because that is essentially what you would be doing in your professional life as well. So once we give that to you, we will have a problem solving session, which will be of 2 hours, one hour on 2 different days. So that we'll decide on the course, which days would that be. And then in the final on 23rd of December, we'll ask for a report submission by you guys. And after that, we will also issue a certificate as well. All of this is maritime focused. These are, the key features of the training. It is instructor-led training. So a lot of trainings which is happening nowadays is just video training. You cannot ask questions over there. Over here, you can ask questions at any point of time to the trainer. We will give you real-time case studies and the ones which are relevant, and there will be doubt-solving sessions. After the course is finished, you can always send an email if you want any support in terms of how do you do this or how do you resolve it. That exclusive email support will always be available after the course. If you move on to the next slide, this is the schedule of the course. Second is a Saturday. Third is Sunday. So 2nd and 3rd December, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Then the next weekend, 9th and 10th December, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. That's the Excel course. Power BI, 16th and 17th, 10 to 12, again Saturday and Sunday. We've planned the doubt clearing sessions on Monday and Wednesday, but we are open and we are flexible on this as well. And then finally, there will be an assignment presentation by all the candidates. So report making, how will you present? We'll give you that assignment. And finally, you'll get a certificate after you finish the course as well. Moving on. What's the price of the course? If you just do the advanced Excel course, it's at 5,999. If you only do Power BI, it's again at 5,999. And if you do both of them, they'll cost you almost 10,000, 9,999. And you'll have a 10% discount on each course or all the courses if you book it by 27th of November. So yeah, that's the pricing for it. Is there any other slide? No. What we'll do is Pinaki will just put in the links for booking of this course on in the chat window. In the meanwhile, we'll start taking up questions over here. So if you have any questions, you can put them over in the chat window. I see a couple of questions in terms of recording. We will be recording these sessions as well, and we will share the recording of the sessions with you. It's an online training. And yeah, we can share the PPT as well. Atif, that's a question from you. And thanks for joining the course at 5 a.m. Amit. Appreciate that. So I assume you'll have to join in. I mean, you'll have to take the recordings if you are interested. Yeah. Okay. Pinaki, if you have the questions from before, maybe we can start taking those earlier questions, and then we can go to the questions which have come later on. We can stop sharing the screen.
Yeah. So basically, so Rahul asked, like, how could daily data help to grow the company apart from daily logs and fuel figures? So, panelists, if you can probably answer this question.
Okay. Shailesh Bhammani, would you want to answer that question, please?
Yeah, can you just repeat the question, please, or just put it in this thing?
So basically, they're asking us that how could daily data help to grow the company apart from the daily logs and fuel figures?
So the daily logs that are there are only 10 entries that you are there, whereas a ship actually gives hundreds of data points. That is to optimize how much fuel has been consumed. I'll give you a very simple example. On a known report, you may probably put one generator, whereas 20 hours in a day, there's two generators running when one could have just done the job. Now, when I talk about one additional generator, 3 tons, that 3 tons into 600 is $1,800 a day. You run it over 30 days, you have the dollar value. So this is where the data comes into play.
Thank you, Capt.
Very well.
So next question was from Captain Gupta. He had a question on claims, and this question was, as on date, how many claims and type of maritime claims settled by data analytics so far, and quantum data assisted to save cost or revenue in terms of claims, and how successful it went? I guess this is a very broad question, probably, but if somebody would like to take up this question just to throw some light, because it's extremely difficult to have the data of claims settled by analytics so far, but just to give a broader picture.
Most of the claims analysts, like post-picture analyst, voyage claims analyst. So we means if there is any claim which has arisen, we can have our own analyst and guide them to recheck the claim. Like some must have taken the ballast and dead conditions in different way. Means the raw data might be missing the cargo quantity, value. So they might by mistakenly taken it as a ballast voyage, or some analyst must have taken the before value. Uh, Means some must have taken into account the before scale, means which is less than 4 as good weather, and they might have missed out the wave height, which is less than 1.25 is the good weather, considered as good weather. So they might have missed out that. So we can recheck by doing analysis, and we can try to convince the claims, in my point of view.
Thanks, Yogesh. I guess Captain
Thank you,
Shailesh
Yogesh.
would be able to add a little bit more on this. That's his story.
Yeah, I mean, every organization do have their own set of, claim handling procedures. I mean, even when you have a bridge-related accident, you would get the VDR out. You get the VDR information. So VDR information is itself data. Yeah. So this has been happening for quite some time now. What we're doing and what the industry is moving across is that VDR data alone is not sufficient to give you a complete analysis of what is happening on the ship. That is where the additional data points come, and it's always it's the missing link. It's always that missing data that is the key to any claim handling or any investigation. So it is happening at various levels. Every organization has been doing it earlier as well, and it will keep happening and it will keep improving in the future as well. So it's very important.
Great.
Thank you, Captain.
Just to add to Captain Shailesh's point, the most conventional way of reporting in earlier days was annual report and month-end reports. Nowadays, as Captain Shailesh told, uh, uh, many companies have installed sensors, and they transmit data from the servers in the ship and to cloud, and so those data are taken, and analysis have been made. Um so these data are huge. So every 2 seconds or 3 seconds, the data gets refreshed. So we are getting live data, and there is no manual intervention. So this data will give a clear picture of what has happened. That's all.
Thank you, Yogesh. I think Vishal had asked that, can a person with no adequate knowledge of Excel still learn VM data analysis? Probably, I think we all know that, basic knowledge of Excel is a prerequisite to learn VM data analysis. So I think in that question we can move ahead with. What's a Tableau? I think Taranjit helped us with that, so I will go move ahead with that. Rajkumar asks is that how easy or difficult to learn programs like Python, Power BI for a marine engineer who doesn't have any background knowledge of these programs? I think probably we all know that this course is designed for especially for people who are in that bracket where they don't have the adequate knowledge of this, and I guess this is something which would benefit them. And obviously, what I think if somebody else would also, I would not like to answer that. Probably I'll just add my favor is that we are not taking we are not taking Python or Power BI to the level where it is not required for a mariner. It's, knowledge would be shared, which is probably required for the professionals in everyday life. So
Yep. I think Yogesh did the course as well. And how difficult was it, Yogesh, for you to kind of do a long-term course?
Initially, it was I felt kind of vague, but later on, the curiosity which arises with data, what we can do, will drive us to learn it easily. And means it is a common tool for all fields. Like Excel is used in every field, finance, banking, marketing, everywhere. But how we customize it to our field, like marine domain field, that is quite interesting. So I think that will drive us to learn it easily, and there is no prerequisite like coding knowledge is required. So I can say myself as an example from a marine engineering background. I'm right now I'm able to do Excel functions. I'm able to make Power BI dashboards, and I'm able to write coding in Python as well.
Great. Thanks.
So moving on, Taranjan asked that only Excel will be taught in this course or data vision tools as well. So I think we have answered that question. If Taranjan, you still have any doubts, you can please get back to us again. But I think we'll move on from the next question. So do we get any study materials during the training session for future references, or will it be mostly hands-on? Was Vishal's question. So trainers, do we have the answer for this?
For Excel, I can answer, and for BI, I think Gaurav will answer. For Excel, yes, we will give you a list of the shortcuts which will be there, a list of best practices for Excel, and so there will be some study material which will be given to you. And more importantly, you will be given assignments wherein you can practice, and we'll give you questions on what is to be practiced in Excel. For Power BI, Gaurav Kulu will probably answer that.
Yes, also for Power BI, you will be getting a handout, which will be containing the explanation of all the things that will be covering in the course. So you'll be getting the handout also.
Thanks, Gaurav. Thanks, Captain. So, moving on, Amit had asked that can we say that data analytic tools once used to have an actionable insight leads to business analytics, or data analytics itself is business analytics? The question is a bit confusing. Amit, but if anybody would like to answer this.
Yeah, it is a little confusing, honestly. Amit, are you around? Do you want to speak out your question?
Correct.
He may not be around. Let's move on.
No problem. Let's move on.
Hello.
Yeah, Amit, oh, you're there. Okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so sorry. I just wanted to know the relationship between data analytics and business analytics.
All right. I'll give you my view on it. I mean,
Yeah, fine.
so and then we'll probably have Gaurav and Shailesh also answer that. So I think um, I mean, it depends. If you're getting some insightful information which is beneficial for your business, I think that will help you in your business analytics as well. But if it is just, you're not getting insightful information, and that's essentially what persons like us will do, who are the business guys. We will get business analytics, but if you just have a techie guy working on it, he may just work on data analytics as such, which may or may not give business insightful decision. That's what I can think of, Amit. I don't know, Gaurav, would you want to take the
Can I explain about it?
yeah, Shobha, go ahead, please.
Yeah, see, business analytics and data analytics. Data analytics is something that you analyze your given data, which is already data which is given to you. Say, for example, uh, say in one example, I can tell you business analytics is nothing about a client. Business analytics, you can assume they are clients. Data analysis, who works for that client. Okay, so here both will be in the same manner, similar only, but when it is coming to a goal, you understand how the data is and you give a output based on the given data. And business analytics is something that you identify the organization, their requirements. You collect the requirements, you understand how the data should be modified based on the information given by the client. Okay, other than that, everything will work in the same way. Say you have a goal, you have a data, you have a approach, you have a team members in all the way. Okay, so for both, again, business analytics or data analytics, for both, you have a goal, you have a data, you have a approach, and you have a team members. So when it is coming to a goal, so you identify the trends in the organization and like what makes their business improve and based on the client requirement. Okay, so here data analytics means after all everything is decided, then only we get our data. So we work on the data and we generate the graphs on the data. That means like dashboards. It's clear, no? I think it is clear for you.
Yes, yes. What inference I could get is if it is a targeted data analytics to specifically meet some business requirement, then it is called, then it should be business analytics.
Once the business requirement is done, then we start working for that business. Say for example,
Absolutely.
you
I
have
think,
a company,
yeah,
you have a company and you that company, say the client will give you all the information and he will tell you what are all the scenarios happened last year, this year, and what he is expecting for the next year. Okay, so based on his requirement you prepare the data.
sure, Shobha. I think
After all that,
that's
after all the things is done, then only we work for it.
sure.
Hmm.
That's,
Understood. Thank you.
yeah. Thanks, Amit. It was a good question, Amit. Thank you.
So moving on, Shravan asks, is this course knowledge helpful on board navigating officer? I think if you can answer this question, Gaurav.
Yeah, Gaurav, Kullu, would you want to take this as a question?
Will it help you on board? To honestly, Power BI may be a little bit, or I'm on a personal level, Power BI is very good. But like when I was sailing on board, I used to use Excel for myself. I used to create my own files, my own inventory files, and in fact, my files were being used by many others. You know, my whoever I used to hand over or take over from, they used to, yaar, mere ko bhi de de file. So that way, I have been using it extensively for optimizing my own work, basically.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Shailesh, would you want to take this? Shailesh Singh for on-board use?
Like Gaurav said, I mean, on board the extensive use could be of only Excel. I mean, Power BI, it won't have much use on board. But if you want to shift to a shore job, if you are seeking the transition, then knowing these tools, I mean, it's really gonna help you moving ahead.
Okay, understood. Thanks. Move on to the next one.
Moving on, so basically, I think a couple of them asked the question, does this certification have an accreditation, and also from which university?
Okay,
So,
that's a good question. And I think let me take this question. What we did it before we started this course, we interviewed about 15 to 20 persons from various companies. And we asked them that what are the skills that you require when you hire a person, right? And I'll also come to the question wherein people have asked on whether they can get hired or what are the placement opportunities. So when we talk to these persons at very senior level in the companies and we ask them what are the skills required for you to hire people, especially mariners, the two skills the two tools which they told us was Excel and Power BI. The second question which we asked them was, do you need persons to be certified by a university or by a by another fairly recognized body? All of them and all 15 of them said no, we do not require any formal certification. If a person has done a project, right, and if he can show during the interview that what is the project that he has worked on, he can show the results of the project, we would be more than happy to kind of look at it, ask questions on it, and that is sufficient for us. So basis what the feedback which we received from the business guys, we decided that we will not have any external certification. We will certify this course. We will give you all the attendees certification from C and beyond. Along with it, you will have your project report, which you can show it to your prospective employers. Second question, which has come a couple of times in the chat, is that about the employment opportunities. So, I mean, we are partnered to more than 110 companies right now for their employment opportunities. And in at least at any point of time, we have minimum 5 to 7 opportunities for either a marine engineer or a deck officer. And I'm talking about operations level persons. They're looking for those persons, but their only criteria is that the person should know some kind of data analysis. He should know how to play with the data. And that's where, if you know that, we can at least get you to an interview stage, right? How do you perform in an interview, whether you meet other requirements, that's up to for you to kind of it's between the employer and the employee, a prospective employee. But definitely there are enough and more chances. We can't guarantee an employment, but we can assure you your chances of getting a interview will be much higher as opposed to others. Next one, Pinaki.
Thank you, Gaurav. I think both questions were answered very well. So there was this one very good question from Arunava. He says that I have already completed advanced Excel course. So for Power BI course, any chances of conducting within Feb or March? As I'm on board, it will be difficult for me to attend.
Okay. I think what we'll do is we'll have recording of these courses, and you can always get the recording. Second is, I think the frequency of the course, probably once in a quarter is the least that we would want to do these courses. Maybe we'll do it more, more frequently than once in a quarter as well. But at least once in a quarter, we intend to do these courses as well.
Right. And Shobha had asked that after successfully completion of the above mentioned course, I think we have answered the question. So I think I'll move on. And
let me take a question from Gunjit Verma. I saw that question. What are the packages that we can expect as a fresher? Now, as a fresher, I don't know if you have a sailing background, and then as a fresher, then let me give you some background. That we've placed second officers, third engineers ashore. Okay, Gunjit is the third officer. So Gunjit, we've placed third officers in QHSC role, in possibly security coordination role, in agency role. The starting salary to these persons has been about 8 lakhs an annum. But when there is a role in, say, vessel performance, wherein data analysis is required, or vessel performance, or voyage optimization, or any role where data analysis is required, the minimum salary starting is 12 lakhs. With 1.5 years of experience, this can actually easily go to about 18 to 20 lakhs as well. So you start maybe at 12, 13, but within 1.5 years, it can go to 20 lakhs, and that's what we have seen in across various companies.
Thank you, Dr. Gaurav. I think we have answered mostly all the questions. So last question was, on that we are okay with the acquisition part, but will it have the same impact with global employers as well?
Okay, sure. Let me take a poll on, would you be interested to attend the course? How many of you? And then I'll take one last poll on the feedback from all the attendees. Kanishk has a question. For a marine engineer with project management experience in PMS domain, what would be the expected package? I think you also had another question on where this could be used. Shailesh Singh, would you want to answer this, please? The question from Kanishk.
Yes, with a PMS experience, you can go to, if you have the knowledge of Excel and Power BI, you can go to any analysis role. For example, you can be vessel performance analyst, voyage optimization analyst, and you can even go to decarbonization, you can go to inventory of hazardous material. I mean, there are so many options, but all these options and even all the upcoming, the options which are, I mean, the newly generating opportunities, all these opportunities requires data analysis and Excel. So if you have knowledge of these, you can go in any of these. I mean, carbon emissions, carbon footprinting, then vessel performance analysis, then voyage optimization. Even there are certain regulations with emission trading schemes, so you can go anywhere in any of these domains, you can work.
Great. Thanks, Shailesh. Atif's question is looking at roles, but majority seem to be operational level officers. Do these courses help in openings for management level deck officers too? Absolutely, Atif. See, the core idea is that at a management level, you need to manage persons who are doing data analysis. And imagine you being a master or a chief engineer on board, and you don't actually understand what a third engineer or a second officer is doing. It'll be very difficult for you to guide them. So there is a very high demand at any level, be it even not only just as a management level officer sailing, but also marine or technical superintendent who is working ashore to know these data analysis skills as well. Once you know them, your market value definitely increases a lot. I took a poll on would you be interested to attend, and glad to see about 43-50% of you feel that you would attend either both or one of these courses. Maybe we'll share the link of if you want to enroll the courses in the chat window again, so that you can enroll. Remember that you have a discount for 10% if you enroll in the next 48 hours. So try and avail that as well. I have the final question coming, which is the feedback. And this is about the webinar today. Were your expectations met? Was the session useful, and how would you rate the session? Meanwhile, I'll take the question from Rajat. He's saying, will there be a benefit after doing these courses for a deck officer living out of India, as in free and beyond, have any ties with companies abroad? Rajat, 90% of our companies partnership is in India, 10% outside India. We've placed persons in Copenhagen, we've placed in UK, in Singapore, in Hong Kong, in Dubai, Saudi Arabia as well. But as I said, out of these 110 companies, maybe 100 are in India, 90, 95 in India, 10, 15 outside India. But leave alone C and beyond. Once you do these courses, I mean, the employers will reach out to you if you are able to showcase your skills in the right manner. So you will definitely, your applicability will be, relevance will be much higher. Shiva, happy to hear. Do I have any alignment?
Similar question.
All right. Okay. Sure.
Similar question.
Sure, Shiva, that's increasing our collaboration outside India, and hopefully we'll be able to support most of you outside India as well. And sure. Meanwhile, I've got about 70%, 65% of you who have answered on the feedback. May I request more persons to give the feedback? And if there's anything that you would want us to improve, write that as well in the chat window. I'll answer Sharad's question. Sharad, you're in Bangalore. After COVID, there were a lot of work from home opportunities. Right now, we have a couple with us, depending on what rank do you have. But now the work from home opportunities are reducing, as many companies would like that person at least comes to the office maybe twice a week or thrice a week. But these opportunities are reducing a lot. But there are far and few which we have, and happy to help you over there as well. Right, I'm ending the poll and I'm sharing the result. On the expectations, guess for one person it was unmet. With the rating of the session, most of you are either excellent or good, and all of you the session was useful. More than happy to understand to the person whose expectation was not met. I'm happy to, if you can spell out why it was unmet or write down, we'll work around meeting, your expectation as well. I've got Nilanchal saying, I'm looking for this type of course more than Excel and BI. I'm interested in projects given. I hope they are robust and industry aligned, as they will give breakthrough to freshers and the WAG. Absolutely, Nilanchal. We are aligned to it. We're not going on a theoretical training. It's a case-based pedagogy which we are implementing. So you need to know theory, and hence the minimum level of theory will be taught, but you will be given projects, or whosoever enrolls, they will be given projects, and not just projects. You will have to present your project. You'll have to present your report to this audience. At least we may even call in a couple of persons from the industry as well, whom you can share your projects, and whatever happens, but that's the thought process which we have in mind as well. Thanks for the feedback, Nilanchal. Absolutely. Thanks. Right. I think more or less we are done on the webinar from our side. If there are any more queries, you can reach out to us on, I'll write down the email ID, support@candbeyond.com. You can write to us over there, and Pinaki, if you can again just put in the link for the courses, that would be great. Thanks for the kind words, Nilanchal. Really appreciate that. And yeah, I'll be around for the next 2, 3, 4 minutes. I see another 40 persons in this. If you have any questions, feel free to write it down or ask us. Otherwise, we'll close the session in the next 2, 3 minutes. Good feedback, Shiva. Thank you so much. That's something which has been in our mind, and we will take a session on commercial shipping as well. Arun Selvan, yes, we do provide placement for operation level marine engineers, but it's only shore jobs. We don't provide seagoing jobs. Do share your CV. Share your CV to admin@candbeyond.com, and we should be able to support you. Sharad, we will send the links to the registered email ID as well. We will send the links. We will also send the brochure of the course to all of you. ETO, again, I mean, there are in electrical superintendents, there are voyage performance analysis, ETOs can also apply. So yeah, I mean, we are placing an ETO in 2 roles, in a logistics company to manage the purchase and the spare parts. So that's one role which we have for ETO, and doing these courses will definitely help you to have an edge over others when they are applying. Thanks, Shiva. Appreciate. For a TME, these courses will definitely help you. Um, Package varies honestly, where you are applying, which city you are in, and what kind of role you get. But the starting packages may not be very high. They could be about 5-6 lakhs to start with an annum, but they will increase definitely fairly fast. And I don't know, maybe Shailesh, would you want to put some light on it?
I mean, I'll give example of my organization only. It's just matter of the, I mean, the skill set you have. We have hired freshers, just, I mean, college graduates without any seagoing experience. And in my organization only, I have seen their salary grew up more than 180% within just 1 year. Okay, so if you have right skill set, and I mean, it doesn't matter in current scenario, even if you are a TME, I've seen non-marine engineers working in maritime industries just because they know the data analytics. They have their hands set on the Excel and Power BI. So the industry, I mean, the demand for these roles is booming right now in the industry, and it will be filled soon, because in India we have, I mean, the workforce wise, we have so many people just to fill one position. So I mean, it's right time. It doesn't matter if you are a TME, your starting package would be, I mean, just like Gaurav sir said, it will be around 5-6 LPA, but within 1 year of experience, your package would be, I mean, it will start growing exponentially.
Thanks, Shailesh. Right, guys, I think, okay, we've got one final question from Shiva. Conduct the classes on weekends, because for short jobs, right, will not be easy to attend. Absolutely, Shiva. All the classes which we are having are on weekends only. All on Saturday, Sundays, and in the morning time. So we fairly aligned to what you were saying, and thanks for your feedback. Right, guys, it's been more than 2 hours since all of us have been here, and thank you all for your time. Thanks to the presenters, starting from Captain Shailesh Mamani, Shailesh Singh, Yugesh, Gaurav Kullu, Shobha, you've been here, and all the participants as well who have been, patiently listening to us for the last 2 hours. I hope it was worth your time, and we look forward to engaging with you in various ways. And thank you so much, everyone. And we will share an email with the brochure, etc., for the course as well. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.